Job is more important than the SBI Superboat Medical and Safety Team, and I'm joined by most of them right now. We're certainly proud of them. They are affectionately known as Angel 1 and Angel 2 when they're in the air. And guys, you have a very, very important job. Briefly tell us what you do up there in the air.
Our responsibility is to make sure that the course is safe. We fly over with the helicopters to make sure that the course is ready to go before it starts, and all of our medical boats are in position, ready to go, so when the flag drops, that anything happens, we're there to respond.
You guys are constantly loading and unloading hundreds of pounds of equipment. We have it just a little bit behind us. Briefly explain what kind of equipment you have and how you use it.
We use rapid entry dive gear for the response if we have a boat go over, so we can get underneath the boat, get the drivers out. And it's a little smaller outfit with a smaller capacity bottle because we're not actually under the water that long. So once we get them out, then it's all surface water rescue techniques we use. And we also use a complete advanced life support medical gear once we get the victims up on the boat to take care of them.
Average response time roughly about 15 seconds. That is just phenomenal.
It is. The guys work all off season to prepare for the season for these guys. We work hard. We all work for different fire departments, so we get together and train. We train hard in the off season, both in our medical knowledge and taking classes and swimming and being good in the water to keep that number as low as we can for these guys.
Now, should a boat stuff, should a boat barrel roll, you guys are deployed, and I think you were actually dropped on top of a shark one time?
Well, at the end of the race sometimes, just to keep in practice, whether there's an accident or not, we generally like to drop our divers to make sure they're in shape and ready to go at all times. So at the end of the marathon race, we were getting ready to drop, and Don gave me the signal to go out the left side of the helicopter. Well, my job is to step out, look, make sure everything's clear. I went to take a step out, hit the water. Just as I stepped out, Don looks down, and from the other side of the helicopter, there's a 10-foot bull shark swimming underneath. Now, I never saw him, but they tell me he's still going to the Bahamas.
I can verify that. Don, Key West, of course, our biggest race of the year, the World Championships. I'm sure that's probably your busiest time.
Well, it's certainly the race that everybody wants to go to, and it's the premier event of the year, and there's a lot of racers and fans. It's also the time of year the water's pretty rough, so that creates a significant challenge for us. We have 3 races a week, and it's a full action-packed adventure week regardless of where they're practicing or where they're racing. Matter of fact, sometimes when they're practicing, they race harder than they do in the race, so you have to be ready for them all the time.
And it's not just a man's world. You're out there working just as hard, if not harder than the men.
Yeah, I think I'm the only girl here on our dive circuit, and they've just brought me in as one of their own. I mean, we're all family, we're all together, we work hard together, you know. That's kind of where we're at as a family, as a team. So.
She summed it up very, very well. It is a family affair. You guys are always together. You work so tightly together because lives are on the line when you guys are doing your job.
Well, that's the thing that I think we pride ourselves in the most here. We're obviously here for the racers and their families, and we want to see a safe race, and we want them to be able to go home at the end of the day. And when they get to the finish line, we like to see them, and we like to be at the finish line with them. So we think that as long as we can do our part, we have a successful season. We've been very fortunate in that regard.
Brian, some of the boats are out there running close to 180 miles per hour, so at any given second, something catastrophic could happen.
Right, and that's why when we have the course set up, we have our medical boats in different locations and posts so that we'll be able to cover the course at any time if in any area of the course in case something does happen.
How many boats and how many helicopters do you usually have, per race?
We usually have at least 2 aircraft with 3 divers in each one, and then depending on the length of the course, we have anywhere from 4 to 6 medical boats, and then a designated transport boat that has our staff physician on board.
Speaking of that physician, he is highly qualified. He comes from Miami, one of the few guys that's actually allowed to operate on the President of the United States.
That's right. Dr. Lou Pisano from the Ryder Trauma Center in Miami is our physician, and he's a great guy. He also loves racing, and he supports us at all our events.
They are Angel 1, they are Angel 2, the Superboat Medical and Safety Team. There are none better anywhere in the world, and we are darn proud to have them with us.